Yes, I'm good.
That's good. Thanks for taking the time for the call, man. It means a lot.
And I appreciate your support too. And I think we're going to have a pretty special season, hopefully, if I don't screw things up. So
it really looks like it, judging by the roster that you sent over. You got like a top 3 or top 5 program in the province for sure, without a doubt, man. Just like, can you tell me a little bit about like some of the history of Canada top play? I know you've had a lot of good Division I players come out of your program. I just want to hear a little bit more about the history if you got a couple minutes.
Yeah, no, for sure. We're going into our 8th year, and obviously like the first 5 years, I think we're a top 2 or 3 prep program. We're fortunate enough to win back-to-back NPA national championships our first 2 years. And I've been doing it kind of like trying to keep the best local talent. That was the goal. The goal for me was to try and, as an Ottawa guy, just to build something pretty special in Ottawa. And, we were losing all of our top guys to prep schools in the States and Toronto. And just thought that if we could keep all the top local kids here, I think we could do some pretty special things. And, obviously it was, the plan was accelerated because I didn't anticipate the success that we had early. But the first 5 years, we were probably one of the top 2 or 3 in the country. And then the pandemic hit, and I think it put a lot of the kids back at least a year development-wise, and then it put my program back a little bit. So the last couple of years we've been trying to get back to where we started, and I think this. The way you can recruit way back, back in, where was it, Zoom calls, and just kind of you were stuck with guys. But now, we've made some strides, and just with the 18 kids we've got coming in, man, I think it's going to be pretty cool because we got a lot of depth, and I think, practices are going to be a war every day to kind of prove yourself, which is what you want. You want to simulate a competitive environment, and that's what we're doing.
For sure. Would you be able to tell me a little bit about some of the prospects you got? I know there's a couple big names on the roster that people definitely want to hear about.
Yeah, I think the big 3, if we look at just, we're bringing back a pretty good nucleus, but I think the big 3 that I'm looking at kind of, putting on, the leadership, role on would be, 6'8", Ben Bazil, who's, just a beast. I think he's probably one of the, I think he's going to be very, very popular and probably one of the more touted bigs. He's kind of an outsized big, but, plays like a beast, right? He'll get doubles, rebounds and points. And, right now he's kind of blown up with Brookwood Elite. And, he was, he's got 20 to 25 schools that are in touch with him, D1, and I think kind of the sky's the limit. So a lot of pressure is going to be put on his broad shoulders, but I think he can handle it. And then Sam Acott is another piece that London, Ontario kid came to us last year and just kind of broke out and is having a pretty good AAU season with Red Rush. But he's another guy that I think is pretty diverse and dynamic, kind of a Swiss Army knife. Really does a lot of really good things, and I think he's worked on his handle and his 3-point shooting, where he could be a good 3 and a solid stretch 4. And he's receiving some calls as well. And then Adriel Nyora, who's he's like, we moved him to point guard from his high school program. He's 6'5", or now 6'6". So we moved him from his traditional high school, where you're the biggest guy on the floor. So guess what? You're a 4.
You're stuck. You're stuck on the block. Yeah.
And when he came to us last year, I'm like, I think I'm going to move you to point guard and live with the growing pains. And he's special. I mean, he's a 6'6" point guard. And most high major D1 programs love big guards, and I think this year, last year he had a really good breakout season, but I think this year, he's learning the position, and I think he's going to be pretty special. And I'm looking forward to seeing what his ceiling looks like in the next 2 years. But he's got high major interest. And again, another Brookwood Elite kid that as a 6'6" point guard, I think he can be pretty special.
For sure. And how do you handle all the calls coming in, Tony? Like, you got a lot of different, obviously not a lot of egos going on because you run the program pretty well, but like, how do you handle multiple kids getting calls from high major schools, and like, how do you handle still being able to coach them and keep them level-headed and grounded? Like, if you get a call from Oregon or a Kentucky, like some of your guys have, that's a big deal. And if I'd be having a freak out if I was a kid like that, and I wouldn't know how how to handle it. How do you go about like coaching it? Do you have to coach differently or can you talk about that a bit?
Well, I mean, obviously they got to remain humble and hungry, and I'm the guy to do it, because I'll keep them grounded. I'll tell them they're not that good, and and honestly, like, to get a D1 scholarship, you got to be special. So, they have to understand that, this is interest, and, you got, some major schools kicking tires, but, you have to be special, and you can't afford to have a bad game. So, and with the competition that we're bringing into camp, 18 guys are going to be, trying to vie for minutes. And I think generally the environment that we're going to simulate and the fact that I never really get too excited, and I want to make sure that they don't get too excited. But you're right. I mean, you want, like, the way the prep programs are built is, unfortunately you gotta hype your guys and you gotta hype your program. And, at the end of the day, I tell all my guys, we're gonna play a really good schedule. We're gonna put you on the map, but at the end of it, I can't as a coach go out there and market you and sell you. The coach, the recruiter, like, you play and you get recruited based on your performance.
Yeah.
At the end of it, I think, they got to be grounded, and I think I'm the kind of the guy, and I think our environment's going to ground kids, because if you have a bad game or a bad week, I've got guys that are ready to kind of take those minutes away. So,
next man up, yeah.
Well, and similar to the next level, right, where, you go to a Kentucky, you go to a D1 program, they got 17, 18 really good players, and, like you said, next man up. So I haven't seen, like, I haven't really coached them, since March. So once I get them, trust me, once I get them for our training camp, they're going to understand that they're never going to meet my expectation, because my expectation is just going to keep going higher and higher.
Yeah.
So that's the bottom line.
For sure. But you do a really good job of marketing the players. Like, you see it on social media and on Twitter and stuff like that. You're really good at promoting your kids. Not a lot of prep teams do that. Like, you find a lot of times, just myself talking to kids at different prep schools, they're like, hey, can you help me with my recruitment? My coach hasn't done anything for me. And then you see yourself, like a guy like yourself, Tony House, is like, the way you guys run this social media is like top tier. Like, the kids are looked after, and you're promoting them to all different levels of coaches, not just being stuck up like, oh, my kid's too good for this, or you just promote your kids, and if you do a really good job of that.
The right fit. And I never want to oversell my guys. Like, I want to know, I want the best fit for my guys. And, like I said, I mean, the reality is that, we're one of the only teams that kind of announce our commitments.
Yeah.
So I have no idea who's actually any good. We just, like, I want to announce them. I want to, promote that they're coming to CTA, which also helps people know that they're kind of, they're coming to us, and to back off the coaching.
Yeah, 100%. It's a wild, wild west, it seems like, in the prep basketball right now, man.
100%.
Yeah. So would you be able to touch on your schedule a little bit? I know you told me you guys are going to the infamous Hoop Hall, which would be a great tournament for you guys, but could you tell me a little bit more about some other tournaments that you're headed down to?
He's going to play in Platinum. They're going to play in a couple of U.S. events that same with the Gold. But Gold is, we're just going to kind of focus on the Gold team. Obviously, we're going to the States at least 5 or 6 times, of which, Hoop Hall Classic, Zero Gravity, basketball, and then the All-American.
Oh, beautiful.
All-American showcase. In Orlando. So that's always an early one for team building. I'm bringing both teams to that. And then I'm trying to another one that's kind of like, I'm trying to get into that elite prep league out of Virginia. Noah's Hargrave and Fork Union. And if you look up elite prep league, they've got 7 teams. And I've had good correspondence. They're gonna consider adding us. But right now I can't really say, like we're anticipating, I guess, more U.S. events, especially with the talent that we have.
For sure.
Yeah.
And how involved are you with the Platinum League? Like, you guys are, I know are you one of the founders of that, or am I mistaken? I swear you've put a pretty big hand in that pot there.
Yeah. So basically, like, I'm the founder of the NJC, which was kind of the first one out of the gates, because I was one of the first guys to kind of have a junior prep team, and then when you launch a junior prep team, you're like, oh damn, where are they going to play? So can't play really locally. So national junior circuit kind of evolved and launched, and then I launched a senior red development program, call it regional, provincial, one that feeds your gold team. Well, I'm like, where are they playing? So then I launched the national senior circuit, and then the evolution of the platinum circuit with the pandemic. Obviously, we're with the MPA, but the MPA was, an OSBA. We wanted to figure out how we could get both teams, both leagues kind of converge on multiple weekends. And with the pandemic, question of what's going to be out there. So we with Drew Ebanks by my side. So Drew's obviously
legend,
yeah, like he's the guy I wanted to align with. He's well respected, good dude.
For sure.
So platinum, I kind of I don't run. I founded it, and then I let Drew kind of be the face and voice, and so that way I could just focus on, I'm still coaching. I want to
100%.
I want to focus on winning the thing.
Commissioner duties, 100%.
The day-to-day stuff is Drew, and then so the platinum circuit has kind of evolved into a good platform. I mean, there's lots of really good options now. You got OSBA, you got Premier, NPA's coming out again. Melvin Brown and Roe Russell have that new Can United.
Yeah, the EIPC one too, Elite, whatever. Yeah, all kinds of stuff going on.
So there's lots of stuff and lots of options, and it's great for Canadian prep basketball, although kind of getting watered down a little bit.
For sure.
But at the end of the day, it's all about creating opportunities for young men and women, and kind of that's what we're doing.
Yeah, 100%. And the last question I got for you, Tony, just I don't want to take up too much of your time. I really appreciate it, but I want to circle back kind of towards the end of the year with you. I just want to know what your expectations are for the season and what you think the CTA gold team and the red team are going to accomplish throughout the season. And then I can kind of circle back and we'll check on how it went.
Yeah, well, like right now, there's obviously like a really, high premature excitement and expectation. I think I really like this group of 18, young men a lot. I think it's going to be, I'll use the P word. It potentially could be one of the best, if not the best teams, in that we've had. You know? Now, again, that's potential. So we'll see. But as far as like the talent level, I think, we're safe to assume that we're back. But I think we're going to be, we're going to be a problem for anyone in this country.
For sure.
That I can project. And as I said, like back to your point, if we can keep them humble and hungry, which is our coaching staff's goal, I think this is going to be a special year and a special group.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it, Tony. One more question. Just want to know who's the one sleeper that we should all be looking out for. I know you just signed a 6'8" kid from out of the mud basketball there, play with 6'1", believe Mateo. But I just want to know who's a sleeper on the team that people aren't talking about enough that needs to be talked about.
You know what? There's a lot of them.
That's what I was looking at. But I just want to know if you could pick one or two guys that need to be tapped on.
If you're looking at, like I said, kind of the young and up and coming, like Mateo and even Akata, Luau's younger brother, he's got some work to do, but he's got he's 6'5", very talented kid on the gold squad. As I said, there's guys like I said, Dylan. He's one of the top Ottawa elite pieces. But even Cayman Grouse from Halifax, I don't know. I look at him going will his skill level transition or translate coming east to Ontario, where he was like the top dog in Halifax? I think he could be a pretty good piece for us because he can shoot the crap out of it. So, but as I said, Mateo, Akata, Dylan, but even Ateni Kual. I don't know much about it. I'm telling you, I don't know how, there's a lot of real pieces that, right now they're really dominant in local high school ball, but will that translate and transition into what we know is high level prep, not only in not only in Canada, but so I don't really have I got a few sleepers. I don't know how you want.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect, Tony. I really appreciate it, man. This has been an excellent call. I really appreciate all the information you've given me, and I'll get that article drafted up tonight and sent over your way. You can have a little once-over on it, and we'll get the green light for posting it.
I appreciate it, Josh.
Thank you very much, Tony. Yeah, talk to you very soon, buddy.
Bye now.
Take care. Bye.